All right. If uh, if Social Security can change their rules, right? Like this is this. Oh man, can't really. Let me move it down. It says, does borderline intellectual functioning qualify someone for disability? Disability applicants with IQ between 71 and 84 can qualify for disability benefits, especially if they have other impairments. Borderline functioning is a cognitive impairment that applies to people who have lower than average intelligence but do not have what Social Security calls intellectual disorder. It's for intellectual disability, formerly known as mental retardation. People with borderline intellectual functioning typically have difficulties with learning, reasoning, planning, abstract thinking, and judgment. Lower than average intellectual functioning can be caused by birth injury, infections, genetics, fatal alcohol syndromes, or environmental exposure to toxins such as lead. When does low IQ qualify for disability benefits? Borderline intellectual functionality is diagnosed by IQ test scores that are between 71 and 84. While Social Security impairment listing for intelligent disorder listing 12.05 requires an IQ of 70 or less, Social Security introduced a new listing in 2017 that covers borderline intellectual functioning. The new list is for neurodevelopment disorders, which generally means disorders that an individual has had since childhood. Con, uh, cognitive, cognitive problems that develop in adulthood, such as dementia or difficulties after traumatic brain injuries, are evaluated under the list of neurocognitive disorders instead. The listing that applies to borderline intellectual functions require that the application have significant difficulties learning and using academic skills. The application must be able to show that he or she either is extremely limited in one of the following areas or markedly severely limited to the following areas: understanding or using information, ability to learn terms and procedures, understand instructions, answer a question, and provide examination. Managing oneself, ability to regulate emotions, control behavior, be aware of risk, and protect self from harm. Concentrating on tasks and maintaining pace, ability to start and finish work, ability to complete tasks in a timely manner, or interacting with others, ability to ask for help when needed, keep social interaction free of excess irritability or sensitivity. Generally, an extreme limitation in learning and understanding applies only to those with an IQ of 70 below, but many applicants will be able to show that their borderline intellectual functionality causes a marked limitation in learning and understanding. It may be more difficult for some applicants to show a severe limitation in a second area, social concentration, or managing oneself, although it's not uncommon for individuals with borderline intellectual functionality to have moderate limitations in these areas. Note that this listing is the same for children with borderline intellectual functionings. What if you don't meet the listing of neurodevelopment disorders? If you don't meet the listings because you only have a severe limitation in the area of understanding and using information, you could still win benefits by proving that your impairments make it impossible to find full-time work. This is generally only true, however, for applicants with borderline intellectual functioning in combination with physical or other mental impairments. When an application fails to meet a listing, Social Security will assess the applicant's mental and physical limitations to come up with the applicant's mental residual functioning capabilities, or mental RFC, in a physical RFC. The RFCs are then used to determine whether there are many jobs the applicant can do despite his or her limitation. Mental RFCs. A mental RFC will discuss the applicant's ability to follow areas following instructions, supervising training, concentration, pace, judgment, social functioning. Physical RSCs. Sedentary work, light work, medium work, heavy work. The evidence needs to apply for borderline intellectual functioning. As an individual with borderline intellectual functioning should gather as much evidence of the above limitations as possible when applying for disability benefits. School records, testimonies from teachers or supervisors. Other evidence may show a higher level of impairment than the IQ score alone suggests. In addition, applicants should submit their IQ test score to Social Security, making sure to include information about the standard deviation of the IQ test that was used. The standard deviation could indicate that test scores tend to be high and may not fully reflect the applicant's disability. Well, there you go. See, 2017, they changed the rules to include what I have. Now, if they could change the rules for that, why can't they change it to where I can get SDI? I had the work credits. I had a problem that was always with me from birth, and so why can't it be changed to where I get SSDI then from that position? Because I was disabled before then, and I should have documents at the school saying that I have a low IQ. I don't know if it does or not, but I don't know. Like, if they could change the rules for that, then why can't I get SSDI? I worked a job for 2 years. I had jobs before that. I worked until I couldn't work when I got schizophrenia. It affected me. I worked. I had work credits. I did what I could do, was a dishwashing job. And then when I did it while I was sick with Crohn's, and I should have got fired for my performance, but I had my work credits. And with this now, it says that they'll allow someone with a disability like this, borderline intellectual functioning, to qualify for Social Security. Now, that's something that's been always with me, and I've lost a lot of jobs because of it. And I have tried to do full-time with this problem and schizophrenia, and I couldn't hold the job. So why can't I get SSDI? That's my question. Because it even says, like, if you was born with a neurological, I had a bleeding brain, I have all this stuff that, says that I'm disabled. From birth, I was disabled. I was in special education. I was in all these things. And I got schizophrenia. And I got, and I got Crohn's. I got all these problems, but I can't get enough support to support my family. I had the work credits. I had, I don't know. I was lucky, I guess. But, I wasn't lucky enough to be ahead of the curve, If I was born, 2017, so, this is for the next generation. Everything that I needed when I was a kid was not there, like being able to be on your parents' insurance until you're 26. I didn't have that, so I almost died from Crohn's. I didn't have Social Security change the rules for me to, say, well, he could be, borderline intellectual functioning, so, he can get on Social Security. I didn't have that when I first applied for Social Security, but then they changed it later on. And it seems like I'm always behind, like, I've lived on SSI for what, like 10 years now, not being able to support my family. So I'm trying to work a job. I apply for a full-time job. I couldn't keep it. That would have put me in above poverty. I would have been able to support my family with this job. I couldn't keep it. So what does that mean? That means I need help.